Hello, in this session I'm going to give you a very quick overview of using the import of Archimate diagrams. This is very straightforward. What you would have to have done beforehand is do an export in the standard Open Exchange format of Archimate diagram from a Archimate repository. That might be Archi or could be one of a proprietary vendors repository that will support exporting an Archimate Open Exchange format. So if I click on the icon here, it's going to ask me to select the Archimate diagram. I've actually used the Open Group IT for IT Archimate model, having exported that, and I'm going to select that. So once I've selected it, it's gone through and it's basically giving me a list here of all the views effectively that are in there. So I can select as many or as few as I want to go through and to draw. So you can select quite a few. As you notice, when I'm selecting it, it's going to prompt me for what do I want to associate. It's look for the diagrams, understand the elements that are in there, and said what shape do you want from what stencil to represent those relationships effectively, and the same for the connections as well. So you can see that it's brought all that in. Now, to make things a little bit easier, what this button here will actually try to do an auto matching. So what it's basically doing is doing it, a match based upon name. It's looking for a stencil that has a similar name, and it's looking for the components effectively. It'll look for the architect stencil and it looks for components based upon that name. So that's a quick way of picking up and populating all of those. You can select them all. It will take a while to run through. I've just selected a few here in that to show that populating. So as soon as you press OK, it's going to run that through there. It tells you where you're at in the diagrams. It's going to run through each element and connectors on those diagrams, and it's going to lay them out as described within the XML document itself. So once that's finished, you'll have a page for each of the diagrams you've selected to draw here. What it does drag in is any data that's associated with the XML file as well. The IT for IT has very little data associated, but if there was more data in the file, then you'll see that also come in as well. So that's gone through and populated there. It basically auto sizes the page to the diagram, having drawn it, so that you'll see the box around it. And as I said, this is the data brought in, not particularly useful information, but in this instance, but that's the documentation which is on the IT for IT diagrams. So that's a very quick overview of importing Archimate diagrams into Visio. Thank you for your time today.